Welcome to a little tomfoolery, Rob Little and Tommy Ryman. A podcast filled with laughs and gaffs, guffaws and haws, and maybe a picture of a dog. A little tomfoolery, a little tomfoolery, a little tomfoolery. A little tomfoolery, a little tomfoolery, a little tomfoolery. Fools!
What up, fools? This is your buddy and host, Rob Little, with a little tomfoolery. And as always, my good buddy, Tommy Ryman. Tommy, thanks for coming back. We're happy to have you.
Thank you for having me on the show, Rob. I'm so excited to be back.
Awesome.
I'm so glad you could be here too. Thanks for being on the show.
Oh, well, that was my pleasure. I'm happy to be back.
It's so good.
I missed you, buddy.
Yeah.
Missed you. Yeah, man. Oh, I got a new shirt this week. I just got back from playing not Wichita. I got back from playing Lowell, Arkansas, of all places.
Very cool.
Think that it was actually very cool, and I think you would like the club too. It's called the Grove Comedy Club. There's the symbol if you're watching this on YouTube, and great little club. Bill Adams is the owner, and wow, nice club, middle of nowhere. You'd never, like, everything around this, like if you heard of University of Arkansas, which is the Razorbacks, huge college. It's not there. It's it's in the city next to it. Like, everything around this city has got big things. Walmart headquarters there. A couple other big, large businesses everybody kept telling me about. And yeah, so we went there, and I could have swore, dude, I would have bet my life this owner did not like me all week. He's one of those ball busters, but he's not. If he listens to this, I'm going to feel bad, but I feel like he needs to know he's not good at it.
Oh, no.
No, I was telling him to his face. I said, dude, he's like, takes it to a point where you're like, whoa, this guy really doesn't like me. Like, for a while there, I was like, holy cow. Like, he kept bragging up the middle act. And I'm like, wow. So, okay. All right. Well, I guess I'll never be back here again. And then I ended up staying a couple days because I was helping some friends renovate their house. And he invited me over to watch the game, the final two teams in the March Madness. And he like went on and on about what he loved about my act and was super specific about things. And I was just like, wow, I had no idea. Like, I really didn't think you cared for me. And he's like, what? And he's telling his wife's the other part owner. And then they had to make fun of me for a while for that.
They were hazing you, apparently.
Oh, yeah, totally. Like, he's got Brian Regan coming up there, and I'm like, he's a hack. And no.
Little up and coming Brian Regan.
Right.
Wow, that's a good lineup.
Yeah, he's got some good guys. Like, this club's starting to get known, man. So I thought he's only been there like a year or two, but he's been there for 5 years now.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, it's a great club, man. And I would highly recommend you contacting him.
I will.
I would love it.
I don't want my balls busted, though, but because I just cried.
Definitely. Yeah, I was on the verge, to be honest.
Rob said you were gonna, oh, God.
Yeah, man. So it's good to be back in Florida. It's beautiful out today. And yeah, man, what's up? What's going on with you, brother? I saw the post. Well, first of all, two things. Megan's birthday.
Yep, we celebrated my wife's birthday. It was like Easter, my wife's birthday, and my dad and stepmom's anniversary. So it was like a bunch of holidays. And we got our vaccine shots. She got hers on her birthday.
Well, wait a minute. Let's back up for a minute. You did some cool stuff for Megan for her birthday. Can we talk about that or no?
Yeah, we can. I'm trying to remember what I did for her.
You decorated the whole house and everything.
I did. I bought a lot of streamers. And then I put all of her squish. She likes these squishmallows, so I put those all over the table. And then it's difficult to decorate a living room with stream because we have the cats and animals, and they just see that as a challenge. When you put streamers up, they're like, "Okay, you want me to take those down?" I'm like, "No, we gotta keep them up." And they're like, okay, so take them down." And then
I saw the hats on the dogs, so that was super cute.
Yeah, I put party hats on the dogs and the cats, and that was a dangerous scene, putting party hats on 3 animals at the same time. I was bleeding. Nobody was happy. I don't know where I was bleeding from. It was kind of like, oh, where'd that, so it was intense, but she appreciates it.
What party hats? So you put on the 2 dogs and the cat. What about your hedgehog? Didn't get one?
That was the one animal I gave. I was like, I can't. That one spikes me. I don't pick that one up unsupervised. Megan needs to be around when I pick that. I'm not allowed to touch that one.
Really? Will he bite you?
No, he can. They just like hiss, and then it.
Right.
I've been pooped on by that thing more times than I'd like to be pooped on by anything, which is over one time. So I stay away from Ethel, but she's nocturnal, so she wasn't even up at that time.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it was really fun.
I bought one of those for an ex-girlfriend one time, and she named it Pocket, and it was like it wanted to be in your pocket all the time, and it was super. This one was very friendly. It didn't, and it wasn't that pokey either. Like, once it got older, I was like, I really thought those would hurt, but not at all. Not like a porcupine or anything. But yeah, that was a cool one. And then
my mom forgot what animal she was because it's a hedgehog, and she forgot. So she was telling her friends that Megan and I owned a porcupine, and I was like, "What? We can't own a porcupine. Those are different."
That's ridiculous.
Spikes. I was like, porcupines like shoot their spikes. But yeah.
Now, speaking of your mom, you got her working on a little project for us.
Yeah, she's gonna do the intro song. So hopefully, when this airs, you'll hear the intro song that she's written and created for our podcast.
Yeah, that's exciting because your mom's like a legitimate artist. She gets paid to perform all over the country, and while she's not activating River, she's been doing music. So this is a big deal, man.
I know we got a nationally touring folk artist that I won't tell her what I offered her, or tell the audience what I offered payment for her, but she's.
I'm gonna say 5 hugs and a kiss.
Yep.
What'd you get Megan for her birthday?
I got her a hat. I got her a Twins hat because the Minnesota Twins are back, so we'll be able to go to a baseball game. But the funny thing is, we were talking a while ago, and I go, oh, it'd be fun to go to the Twins games this summer. And she was like, I don't have my hat. And I was like, yeah, you got your hat. And she goes, no, you took my hat. And I was like, I never took your hat. She's like, yeah, you ruined your hat. Then you took my hat. And then you wrecked that one, or, got it all old and ratty. And so I got her a new Twins hat. And she was so excited about it. But when you think about it, I just gave her hat back is basically what I got for her birthday.
Right. Good job on the gift, Tommy.
Right? And I got her a candle.
It would have been super funny if you gave back the one you'd been wearing and then you just bought a new one for yourself.
Oh, man, I didn't even think of that. I got a brand new hat. That's smart.
Yeah, well, what were you thinking? And then you got her what kind of candles? Good smelling one or what?
Pineapple scented.
Ooh.
Candle. So citrusy. But I think that's funny, too, because she had COVID way back in November, and she's had some weird nose issues since. So I basically gave her a hat back and then gave her a thing that potentially could have smelled weird to her, but luckily it smelled normal. So I was like, woo, dodged it.
That's awesome.
I think, she was happy. And then we drove around, we did all fun stuff, activities, and then I had my dad and stepmom over out in the backyard. We had and cooked them some food and stuff. So it was fun.
You did the grilling?
No, we made tuna salad. So there was it was just, you just take it out of a bowl, and we had sliced up fruit. So I have a grill, but Megan's vegetarian, and then they're basically vegetarian too. So I guess I could have just been like, you want me to put some peppers and mushrooms on the old grill here? All right.
You sound like Cosby when you said that for some reason.
No, that wasn't you Jello pudding packs.
Yeah, it sounded like it for sure. I totally thought of you this weekend because I was in Arkansas, and my friend while I was working on their house, I come in and what do you think she made in the oven? Something that you talk about all the time.
Kale chips.
Yep.
Oh,
She made
no.
kale chips, and I just immediately started laughing because she was like, these taste really good. And I was like, I don't know if I agree with you on this. They
Did
did
you
not. Yeah, I had a lot of them.
Oh,
I
really?
I just kept thinking they would taste better, but they never got any better.
What did she put on them?
Salt.
Okay, so just your simple.
Yeah,
I
they're
like
plain.
to you put them in olive oil, right? And then you put
I think she did
seasoning
that.
on them. Yeah, and then she probably baked them right, in
I
the
think
oven, right?
so.
She wasn't using a fryer.
Yeah.
Then what you want to do, this is how
Air
you really,
fryer she used.
Oh, okay. So either way you can bake them or use the air fryer. And how you really finish them off, you put them in a bowl, right? You got them in the bowl, and then you take that bowl, you just put it right in a trash can. You just get that right, and they are perfectly, you got them, and then they do it near trash day or not. It doesn't matter, but just get them in the trash, and then some guy will come and take them away, and it's real nice. You don't
Right.
even have to deal with them.
Let the flies enjoy them. Yeah, she didn't cook them long enough either, so they weren't real crispy, or they didn't stay crispy or something. Because after like an hour or so, they were horrible, and that was about the time I came in to try them.
Oh no, I'm sorry you had to go through that. That's a tough. That's not a fun.
Dude, I know I needed a hug or something after that. It was horrible.
Well, this podcast is also just a kale chip support group. If you've eaten kale chips or had to, call in and talk about it. We're here for you. It's not a pleasant experience, but we're gonna get through it together.
Hi, my name's Rob. I've eaten 5 kale chips this week, and my stool has been firm ever since. And so dumb.
My dad's kind of goofy though. He makes his own kale chips. Yeah, he makes his own kale chips. He calls me up all the time. He's like, Tom, I just made a new batch of kale chips. You gotta try these. These are chips made from kale. Once you have these, you're never gonna want a regular chip ever again, because they're so delicious. So I finally tried one. I was like, oh, my dad forgot what chips taste like. This is the worst thing I've ever put in my mouth. Kale chips are not good. They're basically like someone left a salad out for 5 days. And we're like, those are chips now. Get them in your belly.
Okay, so I didn't mean to interrupt you, but you just blew when you first started telling what you did this week. But you blow through things that I'm like, let's hear more about that. Like, especially gift giving and stuff like that. I like gift.
I forgot it was Megan's birthday week. Had moved on.
So then you said Megan's birthday, and then you got your vaccine, which we both did. We both got our vaccines like a day apart or something like that.
Yeah, and this was your first shot, right? Or did you get?
Nice.
Yeah, so that's cool. We're a shot, but
why was it your second?
No, this is my first too. So
okay,
but that's
because I'm getting my second on the 19th, and you're getting yours on the 20th, right?
22nd.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay.
I just have to wait and see what happens to you, and then I'll decide if I'm going to get it or not.
I notice I'm getting more hair all of a sudden.
Woo! I know fell out. I don't know if you remember.
Oh yeah, we got to talk about that in a minute too. We'll talk about that. So did you get any side effects from your first shot?
My arm was just real sore for a couple days,
but was it sore the very first day?
A little bit, but kind of the next day was when it was at its worst.
Yep, same exact for me. Nothing, and I got the Pfizer.
Yep, I got Pfizer too. Okay. Pfizer buddies.
So we both got our shot. We both got our second shot coming up. When I was in Arkansas, they were still pretty strict about wearing their masks and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I know most places are, but Florida just really is very lackadaisical about it. Like if you walk in and accidentally say you forgot it, and they're gonna be like, whatever, go get what you got to get.
Yeah, it's interesting how what people are doing, and they're trying to convince people to get the vaccine, which I was thinking they should do. Like for a nerdy guy like me, I was like, make like limited edition pins. That's what I like, collectibles.
That's funny.
Yeah, but then they'd yell at me like, you already got it. Like, no, I'm good. I want it. I got to get all the coins. So like, no, you can't. Too much vaccine, Tommy. Like, no.
I haven't got the hamburger one yet. That's an old guy reference right there. Because we just went to a antique store today. Then you mentioned I don't know if you got it yet. Did you get the other animal?
What we've got, not yet. It's 5 weeks old. We're getting
Okay.
a Great Dane. I think we talked about this earlier. Can I show you the
Maybe,
picture?
yeah.
We just got
Please. Yes, please.
updated pictures of her at 5 weeks. Her name is Minnie, but she
How
is.
long do you got to wait?
You get the puppy at 8 weeks, so we have 3 more weeks to go until we bring her home. But my buddy was over. We had an outside fire, and he brought his puppy, Great Dane Reginald, and so he got along with
great.
our dogs really well. So that was good to see. And they're just so funny because they're always clomping around. They don't realize how
Right.
big their feet are. But here, let me share this for you.
That's awesome.
And for the listeners, I'm sharing an adorable picture of a dog. So just
boy.
you see her
Look
there?
at that.
Yeah. So that's 5 weeks.
It
Her
looks
name-
like a chocolate lab right now.
yeah, that's what she's like, all brown, but because some of them are polka dots, like her brother and sisters. I thought dogs all looked the same, like, but they're all like different. One's polka dots, one's gray. Like she's the only all brown one. It's really
Did
weird.
you get to pick it?
She was the last one because
okay.
we were on the list, but we were like, and she was like, she is like the smallest one, and I was like, that might be, if it's our first time having a Great Dane, maybe ease into it, but you never know how big they'll get.
What made you pick a Great Dane
They're
instead of
just
something smaller to go along with the 2 you already have?
they're really good they're real gentle dogs, and they're mellow. My dogs are so hyper, and I wanted a big dog. Like we got a bigger space, bigger house, so we're like, let's go. If we're gonna go big, let's go big. And then Megan's gonna sell wrestling videos of me with a dog, so she's gonna basically have to fight the dog to stay in the house. I don't know. I haven't figured out exactly what she's doing, but yeah, I guess I'm gonna battle the dog. Just kidding.
I don't know if you can bring up this other picture, but when you said you're gonna wrestle, made me think of the one where you were working out and one of your terriers was.
Oh, that's on my
on your back.
Instagram. On my
Yeah, that was super cute.
Olive on my back.
Yeah, you're doing
There we
push-ups
go.
and your little Boston Terrier's on your back, and I was like, "Oh man, that's adorable." That one was a good one. Do they do that often, or because probably not, because I don't think you really do push-ups often, do you?
Yeah, I've never. That was the first time I've done push-ups in 20 years. So, and then Olive
You
thought I
don't
was
need
hurt. I don't need to.
Yeah, you're already svelte.
Yeah, but I can't pick things up. I'm very weak. Like I can barely hold this.
Yeah, but that's why you're not. You got the arm for your mic. You don't need to do it.
Oh, why am I holding it then? Just kidding.
Are you really?
No.
That dog is gonna be cute. Do you have a name picked out?
Minnie, because we were huge
You did
Disney
tell us that.
fans.
Okay.
But my dad doesn't like that. He's like, no Minnie or Tiny for Great Danes. You got to think of. He was like, what about Daryl? And I was like, well, it's a girl. And he's like, I only can think of male names. So
Is that what he said?
Yeah. It's like, you're not a part of this, Dad.
You're not helping. Minnie, and yeah, that's kind of goofy for the goofy.
But it's fun because it's Minnie because we like Disney, Minnie because she's not going to be Minnie, and Minnie, we thought Minneapolis because we live in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So that's fun.
3 meanings.
Right?
That is fun. That is adorable.
So you got the vaccine as well.
Yeah.
And you didn't have any side effects?
My arm was hurting for like probably 3 days, I think.
Oh, okay.
Like it was like tender, basically the same thing as you. It didn't hurt. Like when he gave me the shot, I didn't even feel it. And I'm a big wuss about needles. Like I can't even walk by a sewing machine. That's how much I hate needles. They're horrible. But that one was nothing at all. I even asked him, I goes, can I take pictures? And he's like, yeah. He like thought about it for a second. And he's like, yeah, but I don't care.
Did they give you a Band-Aid?
Oh yeah. But it wasn't like a fun one or anything. I was like, if I get to pick, I'm picking SpongeBob. But
yeah.
they had nothing. They're just stupid little circle Band-Aids. And then I forgot I even had the thing on and wore it for like 4 days, I think.
Oh no.
That's how
Band-Aid
often,
arm.
That's how awesome how often I wash this part of my arm. Very rare.
It's the most I've ever seen anybody of all my friends' upper arms now that everyone's getting their vaccine because they all take the same picture. I'm like, oh,
that's funny.
You got some friends with some good looking shoulders. That's nice.
Yeah. I had somebody tell me that you're supposed to only get it in the right side. Did you hear that?
I just heard to get it where if you sleep on your side, don't get it where you sleep on because it'll be sore. Because I got it on my left side.
Well, they asked me. They said you can put it in whatever arm you want, and I said, well, let's just go with left then. And then when I went and sat down, the guy was on my right, so I was like, you can just do this arm if you want. He said,
okay.
It's up to you.
You didn't take your pants off and try to get him to put it in your. I feel like you would have been like, okay, here we go. Like, Robbie, no.
Yeah, on the hip, right? the butt cheek. That would have been awesome. So I got my pants down and everybody. It was super easy though. Like the whole process, they did it in the mall where I live. Well, it's an abandoned mall basically now, but they had their stuff together. I was impressed especially for Florida. Like you would think there would definitely be some errors, but they didn't. And they had like fun people at each stop, like trying to cheer you on. And I don't know. It was
a good experience.
Yeah, it was a really good experience.
But when I said ow, they didn't kiss it. When I was like, owie, owie, like they didn't kiss I thought usually like if I have owie, like they'll kiss wherever the owie is, but maybe they don't do that at the CVS.
I was a really big dude. That would have been really funny if I could have got him to do it.
Make it
huge
better.
Black guy.
All right, this is part of I looked at your insurance. It's covered.
It's covered. Yes, we'll cover doctor's kisses. Oh, you know what it just reminded me of? Now, speaking of like getting a vaccine and taking your vitamins, because somebody goes, oh, if you take a bunch of vitamins, you probably won't have any problems again. Dude, I'm embarrassed to show you this. And for people watching, people listening, I'll explain what this is. But I have become this guy.
Oh no.
Yeah. I have one of those pill like 1 a day things.
Yep. If you describe to the audience, Rob's basically looks like an ice cube tray. Just filled with his medicine.
Oh, I'm not done.
No. Oh. Whoa.
I don't want to just get it all done in once.
So what? Wow. So you are some of those are just
this
supplements?
Is 4 weeks. It's mostly just vitamins. The only thing in it that is I forgot to put one thing in here.
Rob, your hair is not going to grow back. I don't know how many pills you're going to take, but
you know what it is down here, the allergies are so bad that I have to get Allegra D, and they only give it to you, like, you can only buy it 10 at a time. Excuse me as I throw up on myself. Like 10 at a time for like a couple weeks.
Weird.
Because it's like the thing they make meth with.
Oh, yeah. In Florida, I'm sure they're extra careful.
That's what I'm saying. Does it look like? I mean, they should just look at a person and go, "Yeah, you're not making meth." But you could say that in Breaking Bad, the guy didn't. He was a science teacher.
Exactly. So as long as you don't look like Bryan Cranston, I think you're fine.
Well, then we did the math, and they said it was 9 grams a month. You can is the limit. 9 grams a month. And so Allegra D is 4.2 grams. So I could get 2 of them, but they wouldn't let me. They'd only let you take 1.
Weird.
And I'm like, what is the real rule? Because you're not on this, right? We're not on the same page. So I just bring like all my neighbors with me, and I'm like, okay, everybody's just grab an Allegra D. 24 hours I need. And then, yeah. It's such an old man thing, but it just makes things easier.
Yeah, that's what you just want, all of them. It's because you got to fill up your ice cube trays. But so talking about the vaccine and stuff, have you? It made me think of like a lot of medical stuff, just like how important doctors are and stuff like that. And I remembered an old injury. Do you remember the first time you ever hurt yourself, like as a kid or anything?
First time. God, I did so many. I remember one time. We had like this pond out and behind our house, but it would only be filled during the summer or winter to spring. And then in the summer when it got real hot, it evaporated. So it was only like 2 feet. So we'd go out and wade around in it all the time. I'd drive my motorcycle through it and stuff but I remember one time I was out there and I stepped on a piece of glass and almost cut my big toe completely off.
What? Oh,
yeah.
That is insane.
That was scary. And I know. and I got a ton of stitches in my toe. They had to put the shot right into the cut. It was horrible.
No.
That was a bad one. And I remember running like on one foot. Like, you know how you run and then like kind of hop as far as you can so you don't have to step on that bad foot?
Right.
So I was like kind of high stepping almost, but landing on like the
Your
heel.
heel.
It was right my right. It was horrible. That was probably the fastest I think I've ever ran in my life with a toe dangling.
Yeah. Well, you're lighter then. I mean, that's because I guess it didn't come off. So it's actually got wind resistance. Were you with anybody?
And all the neighbor kids were out there. We were all out there,
So
like
just
swimming around
horrified
in
a
this
bunch of
water.
kids.
Oh yeah, we're all like the same age too. So it was but they were just like, what? They probably didn't even know what happened to me because I just took off like a shot and went running up there. But the other time I remember really bad was I was real little and we had this like place called Deer Acres in my hometown, and it was kind of like a storybook amusement park, they called it. It was for little kids, you know. But I remember getting a pocket knife, and I came home with it and opened it up. I was outside showing my friends, and as I went to close it, it just snapped back, and I still got the scar on my finger right there.
Wow.
But I remember my parents' best friend was over, and he came out, and I wasn't crying or anything, but I was hiding my arm behind my back, and he's like, "What?" I mean, it was obvious. And he's like, "Whoa, what's the matter?" And I'm like, "Nothing." And he's like, "Just show me." And I finally showed him. My hand was just all blood, and my mom was like, "We gotta go to the hospital." And I'm just screaming, bawling because I think this was before my toe one, so it was like the first stitches I ever got.
Yeah.
And then they put the shot right in there.
Oh.
That was super bad. That was I have lots of cuts and stuff. Oh, what happened to you?
Well, my first one, my very first one, my parents dropped me on a bowling alley as an infant. So I don't remember that one. But my parents brought me bowling, and they sat me in a chair while they were bowling, and then it had a little hole in the back of the chair, so I just fell through it, and then they picked me up. So that's what my dad explains a lot about, like why I am the way I am. He's like, you were dropped on a bowling alley. He's like, that's why your sister went to Harvard and we don't know what, like what you could have accomplished had we not got bowling that day. Plus,
wow.
Bowling.
So what happened though? Did it crack your skull?
No, they just put me on the chair. They, dusted me off. They were in the middle of a bowling. They wouldn't want me to ruin their night. So
they just took you over to that.
Cried. Yeah.
The blower for the balls and just kind of spun you around on it.
Yeah. And then I fell asleep. They're like, "Oh, he's sleeping real good now." So.
Yeah, he's got a concussion. That's why as a baby.
Amazing. His eye's going in the wrong direction, but we'll just get him glasses later.
You don't remember that?
I don't know. I literally was an infant. So.
Okay. But sometimes people, do you ever remember weird things like that when you were real little?
Not
like I can remember some. Yeah.
What's the earliest?
Okay.
memory?
So these are two things I remember. One, I remember coming out. We lived in a trailer when I was real little, like this before my sister was born, and I'm 3 years older than her. So I had to be like between 2 and 3. And I remember coming out, it was Saturday morning, and I came out to watch cartoons, and I look to my right, and my parents are sitting on the couch, and my dad's naked.
Whoa.
And I didn't think one thing about it. I just turned around, sat down, turned on the cartoons, and started watching them. But my dad just walked around naked all the time with my mom. My mom wasn't naked, but he was.
Weird. But...
Yeah. And then I remember my sister being born and looking over the crib at her, thinking one day I'm probably gonna beat you up pretty bad.
No,
not at all. No, I just remember being super excited to be a big brother.
When my parents brought me home, they gave my sister a doll, and they said it was from me. So she was like, "This guy is the coolest. Like he comes with toys." Like so. Yeah,
that was a great idea.
Yeah, and then they dropped me on a bowling alley. So really good parents.
And then told you that was from your sister.
Yeah, Annie did that.
So so they dropped you. The one you don't remember. What was the first one you remember?
The first one I remember, I was in first grade, and I was going down the twisty slide on recess, those twisty slides, and I don't know if I was nervous to go down it, but I was kind of at the top, like waiting, like, oh, I don't know. And this girl came and was like, out of my way, and just pushed me, and I just flew off the top of the twisty slide and landed
Oh
right
my
on my
God.
right on my head. And I guess it like split open, so I'm bleeding. And then all the kids were there, so they're all freaking out. And like two other girls were like, oh, I could have caught, like they were arguing if they could have caught me or not. And then somebody must have run and got help. And so I just remember getting picked up from my mom. And then she threw me in the back of the car, and then they drove me and I got my stitches and stuff. And then that girl felt really bad. She like wrote me a card like, sorry, I pushed off a slide. And I was like, sorry, I was taking my time. I got to hustle. But I'm a little slower because I fell in a bowling alley many years ago. So things are, I just don't move as fast as everybody.
How old were you when that happened?
6. I was 6 years old when that happened. So yeah, I got
that's all you did was
cool
get stitches?
scar. Yeah, I got just stitches on the forehead. So luckily, yeah, I could have like broke my neck, or I just cracked my head open on the beautiful stones at the bottom of the slide.
Right? Yeah, because why? Now they got like padding and stuff for kids if they fall off, but we had like rocks.
Yeah, they would have. Now it's trampoline. I would have just bounced right back up on the top of the slide if this happened today.
Right. Now it's my turn. Do you remember how high it was?
I mean, it had to be about 10 feet at least, and then I just fell head first down it because she just pushed me to the side.
Wow. We had one at our school that was probably about that high, but then there was a regular park in our town, and there was one probably double that height.
Whoa.
It was super high. There was like, usually I think it's 2 to 3 turns maybe. This one had at least 4.
Whoa.
Coming down. It was a giant. It was really big. So when you said you fell off that, I instantly thought of that one. I'm like, oh my God. I'm surprised I'm talking to you right now.
Right? They still make this slide. You got this slide, darling? A little twirly one. That one's fun. Yeah, if you're skinny, that's a good time. But if you're a chubster, you can get some speed going on those skates. And they don't make them with like high banks or railings or anything to hold on to. So you got like half a butt cheek hanging off the whole ride. Thinking you're about to fly out of this thing any moment. And then whoever designs that slide, that guy's a jerk, man, because they start out wide and comfy, but when you get to the bottom, they just narrow into these tight little crevices. It's like a fat kid cow catcher right at the end. Kids up top, they can't see us, so they're coming down, kicking you in the bag. You got scoliosis before you get off of this thing. And the kids were mean to me because I was the chubby kid. So they'd be whipping those red dodgeballs at me. They see I'm stuck. I'm eating a sandwich. It's like...
It was impressive, and then just another head injury. So again, I feel like it just each time it knocked me out of a different college that I could have got into every time I bumped my head.
Did your sister really go to Harvard?
She did. Yep. That's what she's.
Oh, wow.
That's her claim to fame in the family.
Did you go to college? I don't remember this.
Yeah, I went to the University of Minnesota, but they had a program called General College that doesn't exist now, so it was basically a community college, but you could go to the university, and I barely got into that. Like I barely, that was the only, like my wife and I were just talking about it, and she's like, oh yeah, I applied to a bunch of schools. I got into all of them except one, and then decided, and I was like, oh cool, I got into one school. So
did you apply to a lot though?
Easy. I applied to University of Minnesota Duluth, the normal University of Minnesota, and then University of Eau Claire, Wisconsin, I think were ones that I applied for.
Wow.
And then they were like, you're good for our general college, and it was me and all the athletes, and I was like, nice.
Right. Now that you brought that up, I forgot that because I went to a community college first, and then I transferred to to me it was a big college, Central Michigan University. To me that was huge because I grew up in a town with one light, so to go to a college like that, I never dreamed I would ever do it. I never thought we'd go to a big college. So when I got accepted, I was like, because I sent to like all the bunch more smaller schools, and I thought, well, let's throw that one in too. And I got into all of them. That was, and I was like, I can't believe I got picked for that one.
You're smart though. You did good in school, didn't you?
Yeah, but I cared more about playing and talking and making people laugh than the classes. I was just talking about that with somebody else. They're like, "Do you remember like some of the classes you took at college?" I was like, "Hell no." I goes, "I remember my fraternity. I could probably tell you every single day what happened in the fraternity, but not. I don't remember one class I took. You know what? I remember in community college, I took volleyball class, and then they asked me to join the volleyball team for our communities. Yeah, it sounds great, except we were like Bad News Bears, and we had to play like this was Delta College, which is a tiny college in Saginaw, Michigan, and we played, no joke, like Michigan State, Michigan, like these huge colleges who had like three, what do you call it? They had like three teams deep. So
Oh wow.
they had a whole group that was just the first guys, and then they had a whole second and third group, and we barely had enough for one team. And then we drew our own. We had T-shirts that we drew our own numbers on. No joke.
With just puffy paint or?
No, we marked black markers.
Oh, that's not even decorative.
No, it was horrible. And I mean, we had to look ridiculous to these guys. They're going out practicing it, and every single guy is just spiking it. And I was just like, I'm just a setter. I don't spike. Like we would get murdered, dude. Every time I'm like, why do I do this? But it felt kind of cool to say you were on the traveling volleyball team, you know?
Yeah. And then you guys turned around and won everything, right? That's how those movies all end.
And well, that's what I was getting to. Yeah, we won everything. And then Karch Karai from the beach volleyball team asked me to join him.
Wow.
And we beat everybody in beach volleyball in Santa Monica.
Oh my! I read about that in the paper. I feel like that's
there's
so
a book. There's a book
There's
coming
a
out.
book.
Yeah.
Balls.
It's a
with
pop-up
Rob
book. just
Yep. Excellent.
Yeah. Hold on, bro. I feel like we got enough for this. This is a good episode right here.
It was, yeah. I know you had
Let's save it.
some other injuries but we'll talk about. Rob's hurt himself a lot, so this will be a multi-part.
Oh my God, I've hurt myself so many times. I've had a lot of accidents.
What do you got coming up?
What do I got coming up? This weekend, I'm doing a club in Florida. It's called Groucho's Comedy Club.
Oh, cool.
And it's kind of a small club, but I got some fraternity brothers in town. And so they're all going to come and hang out when we're going to go and do the show and probably do some drinking and partying. I'm hoping.
What city is that in?
It's kind of by Vero Beach, Satellite Beach is what it's called. Satellite Beach, Florida. And so it's on the East Coast. And so then I got that. And then the next gig I do is this comedy festival in Washington called Laugh Riot.
Oh, very cool.
Have you ever heard of it?
I did it. I have.
Yeah, I did it years ago, and they got me come back to be the headliner of it this time with Karen Rentowski.
Oh,
fun! Who's a very funny comic out of LA. Yeah,
she's awesome. That's cool.
So, yep. It's funny that it's me and her. We did Comics Unleashed with Byron Allen too together.
Oh no way!
That's kind of cool. Yeah,
Reunion.
That'd be kind of cool.
Excellent.
Yep. Why? What do you got coming up?
Well, I have on April 15th through the 18th. I'm not sure when this will air, but I'll be at Colorado Springs at Looney's. I'm excited to go back. That was the last club I was supposed to do right before COVID, so this is my reschedule for that.
How is that club? I've heard nothing but good things.
I have a blast there. I love Erica, the owner, is awesome, and so I've always had fun. He was the first person to blind book me just based on a tape, so I've been coming back ever since.
Now that's not that far for you though, right?
No, I fly to Denver and then drive down.
Oh, you do actually fly?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought
because it's Colorado Springs.
Right.
It's like a 16-hour drive or something crazy.
Oh, it is? I thought you were way closer than that. Okay.
No.
Yeah, I've talked to him before too, but I could never get something to work. But maybe I'll give him a holler then. You got to give the Grove a holler too. I'll give you all their info.
Yeah, I'm gonna start doing my hopefully getting a bigger tour going soon.
I just heard also cruise ships are starting back up in June and July.
Oh wow! So you're gonna get
So I'll
busy.
probably get hammered here for the whole summer, which is good. I need it. I need to because I'm about to lose this house in a bankruptcy. So
No.
no, it's not. It's not that bad. Not yet. Hopefully.
No, things are
Um,
coming back. We got our vaccine.
yeah.
We're vaccine buddies. So
Right. We'll be fine. We'll be fine.
But
other than that, man, it was great seeing you and talking to you, man.
yeah, thanks again for having me on the show. I love doing it.
We'll have you back. I'd like to do it every week if you could.
Yep.
We'll bring you back every time. You're great. You're a great host.
Excellent. But yeah, I just want to thank everyone for listening and tuning in. And this has been an episode of A Little Tomfoolery with Rob Little and Tommy Ryman.
Thanks for listening, fools. Bye.
Bye-bye.